The Indian government is said to be actively working to streamline approval for Elon Musk and Tesla's entry into India by January of 2024. It aims to have all necessary clearances by then. Reports suggest that Prime Minister's office is assessing the next phase of electric vehicle manufacturing, including Tesla's investment plans in India. In fact, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal will be meeting Tesla chief Elon Musk in the US next week. Tesla plans, remember, to set up an Indian factory manufacturing a $24,000 car here in India, sourcing most of its components and establishing charging infrastructure across the nation. Whether it's going to happen or not, but we know for now that Government of India making all the efforts to clear roadblocks for Tesla, Kartik.
Yes, and I think the debate, Shweta, is that is it the best strategy? Is it the right thing to do or not? And there are obviously, like any debate, there are two sides to it. Number one, open up competition. Let the floodgates be wide open. Let competition come into India. And how can you get competition to India? You can get competition to India by not being protective about your own industry. Okay. And hence, let new technology, new brands, new minds flood their way into India and make the Indian industry competitive. Now, how is the government likely to do this? It seems that there is a lowering of import duties. Up until now, any vehicle costing over 40,000 US dollars being imported into India would have a 60% import duty, 100% import duty. 100%. Any vehicle under the price tag of 40,000 US dollars carries a 60% import duty. Government of India is saying that these fully built units, these fully built cars may now be imported to India if they are electric, which the Tesla cars are, at perhaps 15% duty. So it is a great mark down in the duty structure, and this is going to be something which is not going to be relevant to Tesla alone, but any electric vehicle out there who wants to see India as a market where they want to export their fully built cars to. A 15% duty is mouth-watering. So this is one side of the debate, right? That at one level, open the floodgates, let competition come in. The other side of the debate is, are you making an exception for Tesla? Is there some pressure that the government of India is facing from the Western powers and hence making an exception for India and pretty much giving Tesla a free ride? Because up until now, if the idea was to make in India, to sell in India and do away with these import duties on fully built cars, why is that exception being made now? And why is Tesla being given perhaps an unfair advantage at a time when Indian industry is making its own investments into electric mobility? The government of India has set targets for 30% of all cars to be electric by 2030. I mean, that is just 6 years or so from now, 6-7 years from now. And at the same time, we are looking at a rising graph of electric mobility in any case in India, not just scooters and two-wheelers, but even cars. The penetration has gone up from about 2% last year to about 4% this year. So we are seeing this organic growth in any case happening. And at a time like this, when the industry is flourishing, when new technology is being invested into, when capex investments are being made, is it fair to let an Elon Musk or a Tesla get a free pass into India? Okay. And it's not going to be restricted to Tesla alone. In the case of Tesla, at least the government is hoping to get some sort of a commitment from Elon Musk that 2 years hence you will start making in India. Until then, import at 15% if that goes through. But then this also opens up the context for UK FTA with India, where UK-based electric mobility brands will also avail of the same 15% duty and perhaps come to India without any commitment to make in India.
All right. Which side of the debate are you on?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. It's a good question to ask because they did both sound equally fair enough. At the end of the day, we need more electric vehicles in the country. And Shweta, you've spoken so many times on your show about the FAME subsidies being taken away. So if FAME subsidies are going to be taken away, manufacturing here becomes a problem. Doesn't mean that people have to stop buying electric vehicles. Great momentum, as Kartik is talking about. The penetration of electric mobility in the country is doubling as of last year. So this is a great time to make sure that people continue buying EVs. The question here I want to ask you is this: are you comfortable that the person behind all of this is Elon Musk? That's my only question over here. Because of what has happened with X, there are people who today who are still ashamed to call it X. They're like, heck, it should be called Twitter. Why did that whole thing happen? Musk coming in, changing it to a name called X. What did you do to Twitter, Musk? It's a question that many are asking. But then again, that's not a question they're asking when it comes to Musk's own electric vehicle ambitions.
If it's not a rhetorical question, I would love to answer that question. Tesla is a success story.
Yes.
Unlike Twitter, Tesla has done really well under Elon Musk's leadership. Now, the question is not whether there'll be a remake of Tesla here. We just want a Tesla car here. We want a local manufacturing facility. And if all of this is facilitated, made available through policy tweaks, why not?
Absolutely. I would love to drive a Tesla car on Indian roads. I'll be the first one to drive a Tesla car on Indian roads the moment it comes to...
There are enough importers already who've paid the 100% duty and imported Tesla cars, so they've beaten you to it, Krishna.
What I meant to say is that like the affordable Tesla that you can buy with Indian rupees at a competitive price when you're just a car buyer in the Indian market, not trying to beat other people to it. You can do so many things. You can get a Rolls Royce here as soon as you want to, the one that comes out in the US. But I want to be that guy who goes to that first Tesla showroom in India and buys that first car at that price, and look at all those, all friends of mine, including Kartik, who have petrol or diesel cars, and go, hey, I am environmentally conscious when it comes to buying cars. I would love to do that. But the point here is, that would be my motivation. But the point here is that Elon Musk, as you're rightly pointing out, Twitter is one story, X is one story, Tesla is another story. The kind of confidence that Tesla has managed to sustain for so many years and continues to now, the confidence is at an even higher level after some doubts in the US before. So yes, Elon Musk coming to India with Tesla, technically I have no issues with. But the question is always, the man is the same. Whether he does Tesla or Twitter, it's the same guy. My question is, how will Musk behave in the Indian context? If he does in the Indian context, like the way he behaved with Twitter, like in Silicon Valley, he wants to go into Silicon Valley and tell all the people in Silicon Valley that you know nothing. I know how to do it, right? So I hope he doesn't then come to India and look at all EV manufacturers and go, you know nothing, I know how to make EVs.
But in which case he fails, because we already have a lot of competition. Let's, coming back to India's EV ecosystem, we already have a competition in Tata, we have a competition in Hyundai, in Mahindra and Mahindra, MG Motors, Kia. So it's not going to be a very easy road.
No,
what's the price point?
I think the sort of maverick quotient of Elon Musk's personality and the little streaks of genius, if you don't mind, Krishna, if I may, in Elon Musk's own sort of business acumen, are beginning to show even in the Tesla story, which is the highest selling Tesla model in the world. It is the Tesla Model 3. This Model 3 in the US is priced at about $38,900 US. Now let's run that number, and let's make sense of at what price would it really come to India? Now, by my little calculation, I believe that with a 15% import duty, with maybe a lakh and a half worth of handling charges, transportation charges, etc., a possible selling price for the Model S, which is a sedan, which is an electric sedan, would be perhaps in the vicinity of about 40 lakh rupees or so. Now, at 40 lakh rupees, Elon Musk perhaps is hitting the sweet spot. What is the sweet spot? There are hardly any vehicles right now in India within the 33 lakh to about 45 lakh range. Now, for somebody who wants to own a brand called Tesla, what is the competitive ecosystem? You've got MG cars and you've got Hyundai cars in the electric segment in the sub 30 lakh category. Beyond the 30 lakh category, again, you've got an MG car and you've got a couple of other cars. But then up until the 45 lakh figure, you've got nothing. BYD continues to operate in India in the 30 lakh to 40 lakh range, but we don't know how long that company is going to continue to sell cars in India without making in India, going by the same logic, and in this case even Chinese investments there. But the Model S in India, even after getting imported at the 15% duty structure, will be at a fairly attractive 40 to 42 lakh rupee price band. Beyond that, you've got a Hyundai and thereafter a Kia. Which sticker would you like on your car between a Tesla, a Hyundai and a Kia? So I think Mr. Elon Musk has found that sweet spot with the 15% import duty, which either he's been able to influence or not, we don't know. Let's not second guess the policy ecosystem in the country. But I think at the 40 lakh rupee, it's a good bargain that he's getting to enter India's sweet spot of electric mobility. And then within 2 years, if you're able to actually build a car which is going to cost you 24,000 US dollars at present rate, converted at 84 rupees or so, it's going to be just a tad over 20 lakh rupees. At 20 lakh rupees, you get a petrol fully loaded or a hybrid fully loaded Honda City or a fully loaded petrol Hyundai Verna. You'll get a Tesla electric car at 20 lakh rupees at today's conversion rate. So I think cut it both ways, it makes eminent sense for Tesla to be in India, to begin with perhaps using the reduced custom duty way, and then going forward manufacturing in India, building that entire vendor ecosystem, which will feed not just into Tesla, but the non-patented technology, the non-patented parts would feed into the entire India EV ecosystem. But again, the point is the government really giving Tesla a very, very lucrative deal just to make sure that the brand or the man enters India? Now, I think there is also a second incentive for the government, which is Elon Musk's ideas, at least at the moment, if not a formal proposal, that he will also invest in the charging ecosystem. So the charging ecosystem, which is the infrastructure, which is a problem for India right now,
because he
will build an electric car. First, he will import the electric car. He will build an electric car. Parallelly, he is also going to provide the infrastructure for charging across the length and breadth of country. Add to this, perhaps, if Starlink also gets the license to come to India, then you've got competition across the board.
I was just about to say, I know we're wondering why is this, red carpet being rolled out for Musk? Why? I'm sure you can, blame me for having my skepticism on Musk, but especially all Twitter users have had their skepticism about Musk and why only Musk? And I think Kartik's point about the fact that if Musk is willing to create charging station ecosystem in the country, that's public infrastructure.
True.
So if a foreign investor is wanting to enter the country, willing to create public infrastructure, Musk or anybody else, I'm sure the Indian government would be saying, let's do this.
This is investment. This is investment that the country needs, especially in electric vehicle segment in the ecosystem, to get more charging stations in place. I think that is one of the
My only request to Mr. Musk would be get the alternate energy sources infrastructure also in India by way of your investments.
The visionary that he is, maybe he will work on it.
At the end of the day, if your charging stations, the infrastructure you put up is still burning coal to charge the electric vehicle,
then there's
the
no point
problem of green mobility continues, or the challenges against it continue.
And my request to Musk is please leave Twitter and focus on Tesla. There's enough and more to be done. Thank you very much, Mr. Musk, if you're listening.
I think with that, Krishna has wrapped up what we had to say on this show. Thank you very much for watching.